may baby any obewo vaccine dear in person vaccine say
I don't know so obewo.
Number 1 one say you paying for the person much and say I mean we am not paying for the so the tell me what vaccine in here science for I'm not a scientist omo ye expert science in the scientific world they say ye vaccine ye try vaccine no for 10 to 15 years and said ya wonipa this a scientist be a Africa for the experiment. What the vaccine try me.
The science behind vaccine research and testing. How vaccines are made and tested. The creation of a vaccine involves scientists and medical experts from around the world, and it usually requires 10 to 15 years of research before the vaccine is made available to the general public. The first step of this extensive process involves several years of laboratory research, in which scientists and researchers identify an antigen that can prevent a disease. Once the test vaccine has been cleared for further investigation by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, at least 3 more phases of thorough clinical trials are conducted on human volunteers to test vaccine efficacy, to determine appropriate dosage, and to monitor for adverse side effects, etc. These trials usually take several more years to complete. The last phase involves a test group of up to tens of thousands of human volunteers. Unsure if this is a large enough test group? Consider the medicines in the United States also go through incredible scrutiny, but their test subject sample sizes are 3 times smaller than vaccine test subject groups. But that's not the end of it. Once approved, the FDA continues to closely monitor the vaccine. It tests everything from batches of the vaccine to the production process and the facilities for safety. The FDA also conducts ongoing monitoring of vaccine reactions. Numerous agencies also work together on a global level to track, collect and analyze data, to make sure these vaccines are, and remain, safe for the general population. Unlike other vaccines, which typically take 10 to 15 years of research, development and testing before being approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, seasonal flu vaccines are developed on an annual basis. While the antigen changes in the flu vaccine every year, the manufacturing process remains the same and is founded on ongoing virus tracking around the world. Scientists can determine which flu virus is most likely to circulate during the next flu season, and once identified, can change the antigen but keep everything else in the vaccine the same. This process builds on time-proven techniques and allows the medical community to respond quickly to protect the public from changing flu viruses.
Company na omoye vaccine no CEO bi woni video ye bisa CEO ne say mo na moye vaccine no wa na wonwe oso wonwe na eba ne critical bewo adenti no wonwe ya o say 59 years or you healthy or yare nti no wonwe no me Avraham Ben Moshe me 40 years me healthy man wo.
I want to ask you also about a very important issue of vaccine hesitancy. Even folks who get most of their vaccines normally might be hesitant about these vaccines because they were developed so quickly. What do you tell those folks who might be saying, well, I'm going to wait a few months before I get this one?
I would tell them I wish that the situation was not so critical so that they can have the luxury to think about it. But the situation is as deadly as it could be right now with the amounts of deaths or new cases that we are facing. So they need to think it twice. This is a vaccine that was developed without cutting corners from a company with 171 years of credentials. This is a vaccine that was developed in the spotlight, in the daylight, with all the data being put in servers. This is a vaccine that has been approved in the US by 2 separate governmental agencies, CDC and FDA, after listening to 2 separate independent scientific bodies. One is the FDA and the other is the ACIP for the CDC. And this is a vaccine that is getting approved by all authorities in the world. So that should say something to them. And I repeat once more, the decision not to vaccinate will not affect only your health or your life. Unfortunately, it will affect the lives of others and likely the lives of the people you love the most, which are the people that usually you are in contact with. So I think, trust science.
Well, and a question for you. I've heard you have not yet had your shot. When do you plan to get it?
The sooner I can, I will. The only sensitivity here, Meg, is that I don't want to have an example that I'm cutting the line. That I am 59 years old, in good health. I'm not working in the front line. So my type is not recommended to get vaccination now. So that's one consideration. On the other hand, our company ran a lot of polls to see what will take people to believe it. And one of the highest ranking, even higher than if Joe Biden takes it, even higher than if the other presidents take it, it is if the CEO of the company takes it. So with that in mind, I'm trying to find a way that I will get vaccinated despite if it is not my time, just to demonstrate the confidence of the company. But we have made a decision that if we have to do that, we will not do it with our executives. So none of the executives or board members will cut the line. They will take it as their age and the occupation type is the time for them to take.
Between Obi or Yari and Acheno, and no more Munya Yariano, why you fight is everyone? Yariaba, Kunipa, save those who are dying, not those living. Mariana. I said, what is the point to you? Oh, my vaccine, Kitty, my Bama, when your vaccine crash, it's a one job, when your vaccine on quite mouth, when you're money, when you want your vaccine, I want to be too kind. And before the year vaccine, and they call Europe, what are you telling us? Ghana for your vaccine. Near Franco. Yeah, they $100 million. You go passport office at Web. As I swear, budgets at Web. ABC Cathedral, Ediamanako private name. Yariaba, you to me $100 million. I'm from a medical student. Any herbalist a good Ghana, herbalist here. Kingdom crack, herbal a doing Anamewa. Kingdom, herbal a Dramon count. Any other a year anymore. Man, Kabudia Momo said, Munjiska, Namunya. Near vaccine, a bit near Sevilla, yet what can I bring in from free? Or no Bronidian or Coto. You keep a vaccine or Coto. Near Yamano. They won't say vaccine in the Bayano. In penny 4 years so smart to say. Oh, no, can't quadji first. Europe, any America. People are protesting and say, we won't take the vaccine. I ban them. Did you have make out your air try? But only free SHS Bayano. Oh, my mom, go free SHS. Say free SHS Yaba. Politicians and why ban the free SHS. Oh, moment go UK. Oh, moment go UK. Oh, my co school Ghana from co school $2. Are you sure? Oh, I am for that. It's a good. Pioneer the work example. They should set example. They should take their children to wait free SHS. No money in a home. Near come picture. No more containing cats and wine. They will say yes. Education system, health care be a baby. Or no paying or the buy and on to me enjoy. Now a whole finance minister. Ya tablet to aeroplane ko US ya. To man not on conte. I will catch your market and Kobe. Politics a dirty game. Why? I am not ye being any.